Hi, my name is Dorinda Stevens, and I'm going to talk to you today about my evaluation of a lesson plan. I decided to do my evaluation on the Titanic lesson plan, and I chose this plan because I have always been fascinated with anything that has to do with the Titanic. I felt that this lesson would be more towards a history lesson, but after evaluating it more thoroughly, I found that it is leading the students to think more like a writer. There are several writing components in this lesson plan. The first gives students the opportunity to sharpen their writing skills using the Find the Evidence worksheet. Another activity used is the exciting writing worksheet part 1 that puts sentences that were in the article through a drastically dullifying machine. Students would read a sentence that said, "The stars were shining so brightly that they reminded Jack of diamonds." And after going through the drastically dullifying machine, that sentence turned into, "Jack thought the stars were very bright." This gave the students the opportunity to see how they can liven up their writing. Students were definitely using language arts disciplinary lens, learning about personification and how the author was able to put human characteristics to the iceberg in the story. For example, the iceberg's jagged fingers had clawed through the steel hull, or they were able to work on suspense detection machine. And one of the examples that they used in the exciting writing worksheet part 2 was the engine stopped, and for a moment there was a quiet that was startling and disturbing. Another suspenseful detection machine found, "The Titanic will sink," Andrew said. "We have 1 hour." The students are able to interact together in different areas of this lesson plan. One would be group reading of the stories and articles in general. There is also a video that has questions that are to be answered. This would be a good opportunity to break off into several groups to allow the students to brainstorm and work together and come up with the answers to the questions. I think that writing the poem for the contest would be considered a project-based activity. Or if a teacher wanted to bring in some STEAM, they might be able to work with other teachers and have them build a small model of the Titanic using math skills and art skills. Our school has STEAM classes where we can bring in science, technology, engineering, art, and math all together. Are the students doing the work that a real writer would do? I think the answer to that question would be yes. The students have different uh, opportunities to do research on the Titanic and the history that surrounds the time during the Titanic sinking. They have to find background knowledge. And there's also a section in this lesson plan called Using Poet's Craft. And this will give the students an activity that provides them tips and helps them start a writing poem for the Storyworks History Poem Contest. Does this lesson require the student to think like a historian and a writer? The main question we're trying to answer here is if this lesson requires the student to think like a writer, a scientist, a mathematician, a historian. Well, first, the student will use a little bit of the historical lens by researching and learning content of the 20th century. They will be thinking like a writer by comparing connections between a narrative nonfiction article and a poem. Students will also be learning about suspense, figurative language, and descriptive words. I enjoyed reading the stories and seeing the different step by step activities that could be used to help our students think more like a historical writer.